Now we've been hyping up Blood and Cheese for months and something about it just didn't hit the same. In House of the Dragon Season 2 Episode 1, we see these two individuals break into the Red Keep and kill one of the heirs to the Iron Throne. Now, of course, no one wanted to see a child's head become missing from their shoulders. But this is one of the main driving forces of the war. This is the moment that was supposed to shatter a fan base. And don't get me wrong, it was bad. It was bad. But it wasn't as bad as it was set up to be. Now, it was shot beautifully. It was shot like a horror film. The whole time you're waiting for something to happen. Every time they turn a corner, who are they going to see? What's going to happen? All being lit by just what seems like the torches they are holding and the torches on the wall. But when it happens, it just happens. And I think some of that has to do with the changes made from the books to the show, because this is one of the instances where we do hear a conversation between people in the novel Fire and Blood. Some of the differences being that Alicent is there in the room, and there is a second son, a younger son there, that has been cut out of the television show. And Blood and Cheese make Helaena choose between her two sons. Now, having her pick between her two sons, would that have fixed this scene to really make it hit a little harder? I think it would have added, but still, there might have been still something missing. Maybe I feel like we need Alicent in that room. But at the end of the day, an innocent life is lost and war continues. Me saying that the scene could have carried more emotional weight is not me saying that I wanted to see a child with nothing on their shoulders. How they handled the unaliving on that child was perfect. I didn't need to see it. No one did. The sounds we heard conveyed what was happening. People who have read this in the book are saying that it held more emotional weight because Helaena had to make a decision between her son Jacaerys and her younger son Maelor. Her being forced to pick which one lives, which one dies is crazy. And then after giving that decision, them going for the other child. I agree with this comment about Alicent Hightower in her role in the story of Blood and Cheese, because we always need to remember that the book Fire and Blood is written from secondhand by a maester who is from Old Town. Well, not from Old Town, but they get their training in Old Town. And that's the seat of House Hightower, people. So they're already going to give Alicent Hightower, for the most part, a more of a favorable viewing in history. But then she also has to cover her tracks. She has to account for where she was during this time. And Criston Cole has to account for where he was, because when Helaena walked in and they were smashing on Alicent's bed, I was like, bro, there is war going on. So I can see Alicent coming in and telling this elaborate story about how these murderers named Blood and Cheese forced them to make this crazy decision, and they spoke so eloquently about what they had to do. And telling that story makes Rhaenyra look even worse than she does. Did Rhaenyra give the order? No, but we know that. They don't know that. Anyone that says they know how they will react in a traumatic situation is wrong. How Helaena reacted to Blood and Cheese coming into her children's room in House of the Dragon Season 2 Episode 1 is true to the character on the show. People train for years and years to be able to react in a high-stress situation. But the emotions you see on her face as the act is being committed conveyed everything to me. That woman is traumatized. This character who we've seen the personality in Season 1, how did you think they were going to react? She was in a lose-lose situation, and these these savages came into her children's room to eliminate at least one of them, if not both of them. She didn't know. And she made a decision that will haunt her for the rest of her life. This lady, I want to say her name is Fia Saban, she was acting her behind off. She did what she could. She was able to, it's sad, she saved at least one of her children and was able to escape that room. Now, all we can do is prepare for the fallout of that incident.